So on today's agenda, there are 3 estate sales. This is the very first stop. I always pick up countertop magic, and I have never heard of cabinet magic, but just based off of the graphics on the bottle, I'm definitely going to pick this one up. And I left all of my IKEA bags at home. I didn't plan on going to estate sales today, so I'm really not prepared for the day. I did look up that Wood Plus cleaner, and that was not worth anything. I'm just checking this to make sure it doesn't have like an SPF. Usually I pick up lemon oil if it has an SPF. This Noralcohol Dial-A-Brew coffee maker is only priced at $10, but I'm just not wanting to ship that item. That carafe is super thin glass, and I don't even want to mess with it. I'm really still trying to get away from buying big items that I have to ship. If you missed my last video, it's all about flatware and how I identify it, store it, ship it, list it, and price it. Now that first bag has a couple of good pieces, but not enough for me to purchase. And then this one, I've never seen this pattern before. I end up pulling out a spoon and going to replacements.com to identify it, but it wasn't worth anything, so I did not pick up any flatware. At least not right here. I do pick up a bag a little bit further into the video when I'm in the basement. Now, if you're in my Bolo group, you've seen all the cleaning supplies I picked up this day. I picked this one up because I've never seen it before. I was looking for a date and I couldn't find one, but for $1, I went ahead and purchased this. I don't have it listed yet, and I'm not too sure how much I'm going to list it for. Now, usually I do not pick up this Glade spray. This one's from '94, but I'm putting together some old Bolo videos all mashed together, and I've actually sold some old potpourri spray like that before for around $25, I think it was. So I go ahead and grab that. The prices weren't crazy high at this sale. They definitely did have some items priced a lot higher than I'd say what they usually are in my area. And then other items were just outrageous, like that little box of Legos. They wanted $45 for that. That Tank Commander, I felt like that was overpriced as well. I didn't even bother looking that up, or any of these other toys. I've sold a couple of those electric football games years and years ago, and they were hardly worth anything. I probably should have looked it up. Prices do change, and I knew I was definitely not picking up any of these chairs, even though they were all really cool, but I do not want to ship those. I feel like my Frankenbox skills are 10 out of 10, but I'm over it. Now this flatware I do end up picking up, and I still have not listed this. So this is going to be Oneida Twin Star, and I mentioned in my video that flatware has a horrible sell-through rate. There's 1,400 pieces of this listed, and only 360, I think it was, have sold in the last 90 days. But oddly enough, this is one of my best performing flatwares. Whenever I pick this up, especially if I can get a set, this always sells. I'll price mine for somewhere around $100. This is estate sale number 2, and I really luck out because the first 2 sales, almost everything is vintage. And then I spot this Johnson's paste wax. This is definitely a Bolo. I can't tell how much is in here, but it feels pretty full. So I do look up that watch, not worth anything, even new in the package. And then I swore that this was like an older game. Me and my sisters used to play this in the pool when we were younger, but I finally find a date on it. It's 2013, so definitely not vintage. I always pass on Farberware now. That market for me tanked about 2 years ago. The same thing for Revereware. I do not pick up either of those brands anymore. I had the hardest time trying to comp this Star Wars refrigerator at this sale. I used Google Image, I checked eBay, I now have a WorthPoint subscription, so I checked WorthPoint, and I couldn't find this exact refrigerator, so I'm hoping it's not worth anything. I think they wanted $90 for it. Hopefully you guys can see the sticker in the video because it might not have been that much, but going off of memory, I think it was 90. I go back outside, and how did I miss this artificial mushroom and grape basket? This is so cute. Mushrooms are super hot right now, so as soon as I saw this, I knew that I was going to pick it up. I used Google Image really quick just to make sure it's going to sell, and it's definitely going to sell. I dig a little more at this table and I look a couple of these items up, but I just don't end up purchasing anything else. So I spent a total of $4 at this sale. I only pick up the Johnson's paste wax and then the mushroom artificial little basket. This little cologne was also pretty hard to comp. There were prices all over the place. I'll throw a couple up on the screen. I will probably just price mine right along with these. So I've already looked in the garage and then came into the house, and I wasn't recording, but there is a rainbow vacuum out there. And I'm trying to stay away from big items like that. It's only priced at $18. So I figured if I left it out in the garage and I went through the entire house, and if it was still there when I left, I would pick it up, especially because it's only $18 and it's pretty complete. It looks like it's in rough condition, but I can part it out and make quite a bit of money. I checked this brush. I'm hoping it's either Fuller or Stanley, but it's neither. It's unmarked, so I do not pick that one up. This company always has the bathroom open if there's stuff available, so I'm just assuming that nothing was available in the bathrooms because they would have had it open for sure. That's why when they're having a sale, they're always at the top of my list, and they always have the best prices. Now, I totally forgot I picked this up until I started editing this video. It must be in my trunk somewhere. I thought this looked a little bit different, and the fact that it's a mushroom and they had it priced at $15, I figured they must have knew something that I didn't know. This is the same sale. I've just moved on to the basement, and right away I see this Vitamix like commercial blender. I'm hoping it's worth a little something, but it's not. If I were to buy that, I'd probably end up making about $20 after fees and everything. Earlier when I said I was really not prepared for the day, I really meant it. So the reason why I totally forgot about that little mushroom thing that I picked up is my trunk is full of stuff to take to the Goodwill. So I went to estate sales with a full trunk and no IKEA bags. Electronics are also something that I really don't like to pick up, but I know that this Panasonic VCR has a great sell-through rate. I have sold so many of these over the years. It's only priced at $10. They had the remote control priced separately, but the man who wrote my ticket gave it to me for free, and he also reduced the price of the mushroom. And I didn't record, but I did pick up the rainbow vacuum, and my back seat was packed. This is the last estate sale for the day. This is a family-run sale, and there was so much stuff. It was crazy. These are the first 2 cleaning products that I find in this area, and I end up picking up 15 bottles or containers of cleaning supplies and a few hair products as well. All chemicals are $1 a piece, so this was a really great stop for me. I'm at the sale for well over an hour. I end up just sitting on the floor right here, scanning all of these products or looking them up. And this is another little area where they have a whole bunch more cleaning products. A lot of this stuff is discontinued. Some of it I don't pick up just because there's hardly any left, but I would say majority of these are discontinued. What I'm doing right now is just picking out items that I think might be discontinued or I've never seen before, and then I'm going to look them up. I see a lot of resellers in Facebook groups who make the comment that you should be able to source without looking items up, and I think that's the biggest mistake that people can make. I never just assume something is going to sell unless I've sold it in the past and in the recent past, and I never assume something isn't going to sell unless I've recently checked comps on it. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, but I sell a lot of random things, so I'm always looking stuff up. Out of all of that, these are all my yeses, and I found another Johnson paste wax under there. I really need to get those listed. So one of them ended up being about, I'd say 90% full, and the other one about 75% full. And how I figure that out is I find an eBay listing where somebody sold one that was brand new and they actually weighed it, and I will weigh mine, do a little bit of division, figure out how much is missing from mine, and then just add it into the listing. Who knew that my 6th grade math story problems would come in handy later on in life? I forgot to mention that I also only had $100 cash to start my day because, again, I didn't plan on going to estate sales. So at this point, I think I only have like $45 cash on me. But I knew if I found anything good, I was definitely running to the ATM. They're open until 6 p.m. at this sale, and it's around 4 o'clock. The original homeowner was a collector. I don't think I was recording, but she also collected salt and pepper shakers since she was 16 years old. And you guys will see the collection once I walk out into the main part of the home. But there were hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, salt and pepper shakers. There's a comb in this bag that I'll probably sell for about $45. And then there's 2 Goody hair picks. They only wanted 50 cents for that. So I do pick that up. And then there's also 2 hair products inside of this basket that I pick up as well. So I must have picked up a couple more than 15 products because these ones with the red dot are 50 cents. So I picked up more than what I thought I did. I also grabbed this Agree, and that is not new. I'm not too sure if I'm going to list it or not. Agree is very popular. I've sold their shampoos before for well over $40. I always shake products, check how full they are, and then check the consistency and the smell if it's a perfume before I pick them up at estate sales, thrift stores, wherever I find them. And I always go back to every single room twice at an estate sale, so I do come back to this basket again, look through everything again, and I find a product that I missed. Now this box is inside the kitchen closet, and there's more cleaning supplies. They had so much cleaning supplies. I don't find anything in this box, but I do look quite a bit of this up. And the way I see it is the more items I look up, the more items I know what to purchase right off the top of my head for the future. And I also know what to pass on and not to even give a second glance from now on. This bottle was almost empty, so I did not pick this one up, but if it would have been full, I probably would have picked that up for sure, especially for only $1. This was a family-run sale, and they were super nice. They gave me this basket to hold all of my stuff since I didn't have my own bag to carry everything in. This is just a tiny piece of the salt and pepper shaker collection. The other room to the left right here, the living room, was packed. There was a whole bunch of people going through them, and I did not want to record everybody. I know I wouldn't want to be an innocent bystander in somebody's YouTube video, so whenever I record, I always try not to include people's faces and not to record other people. So that's probably why it looks like I'm alone at most of these sales or when I'm thrifting, because I try really hard not to include people in my videos. Oh, and I know you guys are going to tell me I missed out, but I just don't know enough about this stuff. I looked through these cards just to see if anything looked really old or kind of stuck out, and it didn't, so I quit going through them. But the stationery stuff right here. So I looked up Hallmark stationery paper because I did find some paper. And the sell-through rate looked really, really bad. And it wasn't selling for much. So I just didn't feel like I wanted to take the chance on this stuff. I've been coming across this older stationery stuff more and more at estate sales, so I really need to buckle down and do my research so that I know what I'm looking at and I know what I'm looking for and I know what sells. So that's my plan for tonight, is to research stationery items on eBay. I do research probably about 4 nights a week now. I used to do it every night before I started making social media, but now that takes up quite a bit of my time. They definitely looked up the Christmas stuff. Anything that was worth anything, they had it priced exactly where it should be, which I definitely do not blame them. I know they were running the sale for 3 days as well, just because there were so many items that they needed to get rid of. And they had some really great pieces. Their mom was obviously a collector of a lot of things and a lot of nice things. I did not record inside the pole barn, but there was a pole barn, a probably 3-car garage, plus the house, just full of stuff.
But who's the lucky person that got to decide the pricing on?
This looked kind of old to me, so I was going to check it out, but it said it was missing the hanging Santa, so I didn't even bother with it. I really didn't look up too much of this Christmas stuff. I was so tired at this point, I was ready to go. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I just got home from thrifting. It is storming so bad here today. It was like 102 and then it dropped down to 72 degrees within a matter of like 15 minutes. So it's really ugly outside right now. Hence the reason my lighting is super funky. But you guys, I just can't seem to get away from large items. I just couldn't pass up that VCR, which, I mean, it's not a huge item, but it's still bigger than what I want to be packaging up. I want smaller, faster to ship items, but I also don't want to pass up any profits as well. So that's also why I picked up that rainbow vacuum. And I have so much stuff that is not listed right now. My daughter hasn't worked in like 5 days, so I really haven't listed too much. So my plan for tomorrow is to stay home all day and just ship my orders, get stuff listed, and then get my basement put together finally. I've been working on that the last couple days, and I think if I stay home tomorrow, I can finally finish that. Now I am gonna put out a bonus video for you guys tomorrow. So I've been doing social media for probably close to 2 years now. I just got on YouTube, so if you found me on YouTube, I've actually been on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for much longer. So I have a lot of what sold videos, and I wanna say I have like 200 or more of them. So my plan is to kind of just splice about 20 to 30 minutes, probably about 25 minutes worth of those together. I'll cut in and out as well because my first couple are just so bad and boring. Even though they can be a little boring and I can be super monotone at times, they are still a really great resource. I like to look back at them. Again, I picked up an item in this video because I was putting together this what sold video, so they are helpful. But I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I have a lot of work to do. I need to unload my car still, and it is like pouring rain outside, so I'm gonna pull it in the garage, get all my stuff unloaded, and then take it all downstairs. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you tomorrow on my next video.